Title: Creative Lighting Design and Mood Building. Module: Advanced Studio Lighting Control. At this stage in your development as a photographer, lighting is no longer just a technical tool. It becomes a language. You're no longer only asking, is this correctly exposed? But instead, what does this light feel like? Creative lighting design begins when you move beyond formulas and start thinking in emotion. Every light setup tells a story, even when you're not aware of it. A soft, evenly lit image may feel calm and safe. A high-contrast image may feel intense or dramatic. A side-lit subject may feel thoughtful or mysterious. Light is not neutral, it always carries mood. Your task as a photographer is to become intentional about that mood. Instead of placing lights randomly or copying diagrams, begin with a simple question. What emotion do I want this image to express? Once you define the emotion, lighting becomes much clearer. Soft, diffused light is often used for emotions like peace, tenderness, and intimacy. Hard, directional light works well for strength, tension, or isolation. Low-key lighting often supports mystery or introspection, while high-key lighting suggests openness and simplicity. But creative lighting is not only about softness or hardness. It is also about direction, distance, and imbalance. Perfectly balanced lighting can feel safe but sometimes too safe. Slightly uneven lighting, where one side of the frame carries more weight, often feels more human and more emotionally interesting. This is where artistic lighting begins to separate from technical lighting. In studio work, you have full control over direction. You can place light from above to create elegance, from below to create discomfort, or from behind to create silhouette and separation. Each direction changes the psychological reading of the image. Distance also plays a major role in mood. A light placed close to the subject creates intimacy. It wraps around the form, softens edges, and reduces tension. A light placed far away becomes more controlled and distant, creating a more formal or structured feeling. Another powerful creative tool is contrast control. High-contrast images feel bold and graphic. Low-contrast images feel soft and emotional. By adjusting the balance between highlights and shadows, you are essentially controlling the emotional volume of the photograph. Creative lighting design is not about using more equipment. It is about using intention. A single light, carefully placed, can create more emotional depth than a complex multi-light setup used without purpose. As you develop your style, begin to notice patterns in your own work. Are you naturally drawn to soft light or dramatic light? Do your images feel calm or intense? These patterns reveal your visual identity. The goal is not to copy every lighting style, but to understand how each one affects emotion, so you can choose deliberately rather than accidentally. Over time, lighting becomes less about setup and more about storytelling. You're no longer just illuminating a subject. You're shaping how the viewer feels about that subject. And when light becomes emotion, photography becomes art.